Hello, my name's Amy and I've just bought a house with help from Tembo. So up until about 5 years ago, I was a primary school teacher and then I got very ill and I ended up a year later in a wheelchair, and I've been a wheelchair user since. And for the past 5 years, I've been living in hospitals and neurological rehabilitation units. About 3 years ago, I decided to start posting videos, just funny videos in my bathroom and videos about myself and just me joking around onto a social media app. And I have now amassed over 3.5 million followers, and I still to this day don't know why they follow me. Me personally, I knew I was always gonna own a house one day. You know how you imagine when you're about 5 years old, you're gonna have a little castle that's gonna have acres and acres of land. But in reality, it was very, very difficult to get a house. But when I found Tembo, it was actually a lot easier than I thought. So I first found Tembo last year when I was talking to my dad about how I wanted to buy a house and I didn't know how. And he searched on Google different mortgage brokers because he said that we should go for a broker because then they pretty much do the work for you and they take the hassle out of it. And I'm so thankful that we found Tembo. To be honest, Tembo seemed too good to be true at the start because I couldn't believe that a company could do all of this for us. But when I looked at their website, it was very easy to follow and we were able to find the right plan for us, and we got in contact with them and we got a call like the following day, and I had a mortgage advisor and his name was Andy, and he was absolutely amazing and he was my advisor throughout the whole process. Using the website, we were able to create a very personalized plan with lots of options that I could then choose from, which included my dad becoming an income booster. And also, the plan was completely free, so why would I say no? My dad's first impressions were definitely that the calculator was amazing. He wouldn't stop going on about it, trying different things and seeing different mortgage rates that I could get. My journey with Tembo was very simple and quick. I began on Friday the 20th of January and I actually completed on Friday the 31st of March. So I don't think it could be any better than that. And Andy, my mortgage advisor, was there throughout the entire process. I ended up using an income boost mortgage with Tembo where I could use my dad's salary to up the amount of money I could borrow without putting his name on the deed. So the house is still mine. He's just there to help pay if I don't. But don't worry, Dad, I'll pay. Beforehand, I had never heard of a thing called an income boost. I knew of a guarantor because when I was at university, I had a guarantor for my let. But this was very different, and all the questions that I had were answered by Andy straight away, and he even talked us through what it was and the risks and benefits of having it. Having an income booster would have been something I would have probably never had the nerve to ask my dad to do, but he actually saw it before me and he was like, let's do it. That enabled me to actually have this house, which suited all my needs, whereas the other houses that I was looking at before I had the income booster in mind were a lot lower in value and just wouldn't have been suitable for me and my wheelchair, let alone suitable for what I wanted. I would have never have had the nerve to approach my dad to ask him to be my income booster, so I'm so glad that he actually brought it up himself. Now looking back on it, I definitely would have asked my dad to be my income booster, and if you're watching this right now, just go to your parents and approach them with it because there are so many different ways that they could actually help you. They don't have to be millionaires. I saw this house in January and immediately when I saw it online, I knew that this was the house for me. I contacted my dad and I was like, Dad, we need to find a way to afford this house because it was over my budget, way over my budget. And we actually contacted Tembo the very next day. And if we hadn't have done that, I would have probably lost out on this house. I wouldn't have it today. It feels amazing to be a homeowner. Like that just feels such a weird thing to say, like I'm a homeowner. I don't think I've actually said that yet. I'm a homeowner. And it just feels like I've got my independence and freedom back. The way I thought of it, I always thought I'll have to be a traditional homeowner, like I would need a man to be able to afford a house and we would both need to work stable jobs to be able to afford a house, but it is totally not that. I'm the opposite of that. I'm just independent woman living in my house with a little income booster. Family is so important to me and my family have supported me so much the past 5 years. So it's so nice to now have a place where we can all meet and gather and just be a family again. I can't wait for next Christmas. So I asked my dad to describe Tembo in 3 words, and he said, dreams to reality. But personally, I would say effortless, supportive, and friendly. If you really, truly want something, there's always a way out there to make it happen. And companies like Tembo can help you do that, and I am so glad I went with them. So check them out if you're looking to buy a house as well.